Oh God, what that was easily the most stressful 15 minutes of my life. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. First off, I just want to start not usual surroundings. I'm away. Internet is bad. So apologies if this cuts out at any moment, but I've pulled out every stop. We've got Ethernet cables running everywhere in this house, trying to make sure this worked, just in the small hope that Arsenal would pull this out of the bag. And they have. And they have. Thank you ever so much, everyone that's tuning in. Thank you ever so much to everyone that's helped us throughout the season. This has been such a difficult season, like such a hard, long, torturous season, and to end it with a trophy is unbelievable. A trophy that not only represents Arsenal are not in this horrible situation that we thought was so bad. Yes, they know things aren't perfect right now, but that this manager that we've got in Mikel Arteta can take a group of players that were on the precipice of utter disaster and take them from criticism, no trying, no fight, no ambition, to an FA Cup final, and not only to an FA Cup final, but to an FA Cup final victory. I just can't get over this. I can't get over this. Let's get some of your feedback. This is what the show's all about. Making sure that we get your thoughts. Jamie King says, Tom, don't cry, bro. It's really hard. I'm emotionally spent, utterly emotionally spent. Avon says, hope Pedro is on life support. Oh, my God, that is horrific. Don't say something like that, Avon. Christopher Fung says, champions. Ashwin Watkins says, I love this club. Yannick Max says, Tom is in Ibiza. I'm not. I look like I am. I'm not. But I am on holiday. But yeah, unbelievable stuff. Matt Gray says, never had a doubt. Christopher Fung, what a brilliant end to the season. What a win, says Omar. Q says, that was so easy. I don't know what game you were watching, fella, but easy is not the word I would use to describe it. Thibaut Pest says, so I was right about the 2-1 and the Kovacic red card, but I was wrong about Pepe. He landed today really, really good. You were, mate. You were completely spot on with that. And I remember you saying that in our preview show, that 2-1 and a Kovacic red card. And we're going to go into some of the individual things. And of course, there'll be a show on Monday evening because I'm away tomorrow. So the podcast, after some long reflection, will be the main podcast on Monday evening. So make sure you tune in for that. Matt Gray says, have we signed Partey yet? No, but we might do now. There's more of a chance. Aaron Letchford has rejoined as one of our members. Thank you ever so much, Aaron. And we've had a couple more members join as well in the lead up to this game. Thank you ever so much, people. Christopher Fung says 14 FA Cups, an absolutely wonderful achievement. We were already the record holders and we've extended that even further. Kamal says, amazing. Dave Atkinson says, we have our worst season in 25 years and we still win a trophy. What have Tottenham won? F-all. London is red. 100%. Amazing stuff. In our worst and our darkest dying hour, Arsenal somehow picked through those embers. And I'm going so descriptive. I'm about to say a phoenix has risen, which is so hyperbolic. But I'm just so full of so many emotions that I've not felt this season. When we lost against Aston Villa, I genuinely thought, right, this team's down tools. It hasn't got the mentality to get to this far in the season and win something, but it has. And I cannot be more happy about that. Unbelievable stuff. Chris Smith says, wow, we are not the only team cursed by injury. Well done, boys. Let's go into some of the individual stuff. Averin with the super chat. Thank you so much. I'm crying, laugh my ass off. So proud. I'm going to roast some people today. You're not the only one, mate. You're not the only one. I'm still a bit in complete shock. I can't quite put it into words, the emotions and the feelings. I'm away with family, and obviously I'm the only Arsenal fan in that group, and to go through that was unreal. Let's get some more of your comments. Christopher Fung says, I'll take a trophy over finishing 6th. Jesse Taylor says, someone did some good voodoo on Chelsea. Yes, they did. BG Gaming says, Arsenal. Gundit News says, we love the Arsenal. We do. Kamal says, Ceballos, man of the match. Ceballos was absolutely fantastic. The way that he tackled, the way that he fought in that game, winning as many tackles as he possibly could was absolutely brilliant. Aaron Letchford says, Mainsley was good today. We need to keep him after his recent performances. On the preview show, I showed you guys the image and said, that's the team that I would go for. And that is exactly the team that Arteta went for. Exactly the same side, bar Holding. And to be honest, in the first half, I was really concerned with how Holding played. He was off the ball. The way that he was dealing with some of the challenges and the way that he was going in for some clearances was a little bit shaky. There was one in the first half where he put out to the wide right off the pitch. And in those moments when you think you're going to lose concentration, you think you're going to lose it because you haven't got the right players, because Mustafi's not playing, I genuinely thought in the second half, Holding did absolutely everything he possibly could to win that game. He was absolutely amazing. Zamir says, where's Dancing Tom? Unfortunately, there can't be a Dancing Tom today because I'm all mic'd up here and cables are flying everywhere. So I'm very restricted to the sofa that I'm currently sitting on. Christopher Fung says, very gritty effort today. You can see things starting to come together under Arteta. Matthew De Souza says, thrilled, although the ref had a shocker in our favour. Game management was woeful since Che went down to 10. Chelsea, sorry. Alba performance, double-edged sword. Let's break some things down and let's get your comments on some of these. First half, Arsenal started really slowly. I thought as soon as Chelsea went 1-0 up, I was like, okay, so we can start to see what's going to happen today. And they turned things round. They really did. They turned it into a game where we were then on the front foot. And the end of that first half, I didn't want that first half to end. Before it did, of course, we got the equaliser for Aubameyang's penalty. Clear penalty all day long. I don't know why it took VAR so long to make that decision, as Piliqueta was all over him. It started outside the box, but it carried on into the box, and it was the right decision that was made. But before that, Pepe with an amazing strike that was very unfortunate to be obviously given offside for. I believe it was Mainsley that was just off when he received the ball. It might have been Lacazette, actually. Well, it was one of the two. Anyway, it's completely gone from my mind of who it was. But yeah, we were unlucky in that sense, but to strike back and not to let our heads drop. And for Aubameyang to score that penalty, if you want to rely on one man to get goals for this club, it just shows you how key and how important this guy is. Then there you go. That is all that you have to look at, is we need to make sure this guy signs a new deal. It's unbelievable to think that we could lose this guy this summer. If there's teams out there that need a goal scorer, they're going to be looking at him after that cup final and thinking, maybe we should be going all out to sign Aubameyang next season, because he has been unbelievably good. Unbelievably good. Christopher Fung says, very gritty effort today. You can see things starting to come together under Arteta. Matthew De Souza, oh no, we've already gone through that. But he does say Danny Luiz and Alba shined. We looked and thought that David Luiz might drop a couple of clangers in this game, and he didn't. He was solid. He was on it. He was perfect. He did everything right. There was a big narrative about whether he could compete with Olivier Giroud, of course, swapping sides. But he did amazingly well. O'Malley, Mainsley again. Our boy Mainsley. Every time new viewers come into the show and they're like, why is he calling him Mainsley? Because he's Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He's an absolute legend and we love him. And I don't want to see him leave, because I genuinely think that even though maybe you could get a decent fee for him in this summer, he has proven that he can play in the top level. He's playing against Manchester City, against Chelsea, and having amazing performances. He was fluid. He wasn't just on that left wing back position. We shifted and we were fluid into a 4-3-3 system, and he absolutely smashed that role today. He was absolutely brilliant, easily. Avon says, Mainsley, new contract, please, 100%. Laurie Nick says, Tom, I'm celebrating hard. You're not going to be the only one, mate. It's going to be a very sore morning tomorrow. Let's move into the second half. Second half, right at the beginning, of course, Pulisic goes off injured. We didn't even mention that Azpilicueta also went off injured. Arsenal in the past have been so plagued by injuries during games, during off the pitch. You look at Jack Wilshere, you look at Martinelli as a more recent example, key players being lost because of injury. And finally, and I know that you shouldn't look at it in sort of a positive way, but finally the luck went in the opposite direction. And Pulisic is such a massive player for Chelsea. And to lose him was massive for them, and ultimately probably was a big reason why they couldn't quite get back into the game. But after that, what did I say in the preview show? I said to you, and I was probably one of the very lonely people that did, that Bellerin needed to be picked because he offers things going forwards that none of the other players really do. And that bursting run, which led to the second goal, is exactly one of the reasons why Bellerin deserves to be in that side over Cedric at the moment, who I know was cup-tied and couldn't play, but either over Ainsley Maitland-Niles on that side. And he was really, really good all game. There was not really too much about Bellerin's game that was wrong. He didn't make the silly pass that he made in the Man City game. Bellerin was brilliant, and I'm so glad that I backed him in that preview show and said that he needed to play to what he would give us in an attacking sense, because obviously he was so crucial in giving us that second goal. Amazing stuff there. Then moving obviously to the goal, it was really good. So obviously we had a couple of times where Aubameyang was played across. He couldn't quite take it, but that one, the composure to send the Chelsea defender the wrong way, take the ball so calmly from him, and then to dink it over Caballero. Unbelievable stuff. Bear with me. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Am I? No, I'm not. I'm not going to sneeze there. You know those moments where you can feel it building up like an Arsenal goal, which we saw from Aubameyang, which was unbelievable as well. The amount of words I've used, I think I've used the word unbelievable about 7 times. Amazing 15 times. I can't quite I've lost all composure, and thankfully our striker didn't in that moment. And after that, we had a couple of things that went in our favour again. We had Kovacic getting sent off, which is, I mean, I said that if he's not on a yellow, I would probably give him a yellow in that moment. He clipped his foot, stood on him. It was a foul. But to give him a second yellow, I thought was very harsh. Very, very harsh. And you know what I've not seen yet? I've not seen a replay of Emi Martinez catching the ball very, very clearly outside of the box. Tell me in the chat, what do you think? Was Emi Martinez outside of the box when he took that ball? Because I've not seen a single replay so far of that. I obviously left the room straight after the game, so I don't know if anything else has come out afterwards, but I've not seen a single replay of that. But I don't care. I don't care because ultimately we hung on. Oh, but I'll tell you what was so stressful is, do you know what the most basic rule in football is? The most basic rule is that if you have the ball, usually, the opposition can't score. But for some reason, what our team wanted to do was give every Arsenal fan a heart attack for the last 10 minutes as they decided to punt the ball up to the opposite end of the pitch and just give possession away. At which point it gave us... I was struggling. It's as simple and as plain as that I could not quite wrap my hands around what I was seeing on the pitch with that. And it ultimately, it didn't matter because we still won. I haven't even seen the team lift the trophy. I'm sure that some of you might be watching this alongside your TV. It must be great watching them lift the trophy. That is the curse of having to do this show. There's no TV in this room that I was able to. I've got this plugged in. I'm looking forward to watching it in 7 or so minutes time when I come off. But we're going to go through and give you guys some love in the chat box. Avon says, in fairness to Socrates, he is better without the ball. True, you're not wrong. I love that. Matthew DeSoto says, Tom, Kova and Mount were barely a foul, let alone a yellow. I was so relieved when VAR didn't look at the Martinez outside the box. I don't care. I don't care. Jabaladi says we are the FA Cup champs. Avon says there are going to be a lot of salty Chelsea fans, which is hilarious. John G says, finally the decisions went our way. My God, we deserved some luck. Yes, we did. Dave Atkinson says no, because VAR must have looked at it. I don't think VAR can look at it. That's the thing I was questioning to myself, is I don't think VAR can actually look at the Emi Martinez thing. I'm not sure if it comes under the list of things it can. Would it have been a straight red card? Possibly. Deliberate handball, denying a goal scoring opportunity? Probably. I mean, I'm talking myself into it. It probably would definitely been him. So I don't know why we didn't see any replays. It was crazy. Iron Cubs says, Mikel Arteta just said in his interview, I talked to Alba and I think he will stay. So fingers crossed. That's Aubameyang's first trophy as well at Arsenal. Lacazette's as well. So amazing for them. Pepe in his first season gets a trophy. Arteta in his first 6 months gets a trophy. Kieran Tierney in his first season gets a trophy. Granit Xhaka and Danny Sabas. Danny Sabas in his first season gets a trophy. Midfield, brilliant. Granit Xhaka did not put a foot wrong besides one pass in the first half, which basically gave them the opportunity to shoot. And Mount, thankfully, put it straight up Emi Martinez. But Granit Xhaka was solid. Anyone that's turning around to me and saying that he needs to be at the team next season, you can go do one, because Granit Xhaka is the fulcrum of that midfield and needs to be built around with Danny Sabas and with a Thomas Partey. You add solidity to that midfield to add more creativity through the centre with Danny Sabas by adding that industrial strength of Xhaka and a Partey would be so good to see next season. I pray that we see it. I really, genuinely do. Avon says, what an utter contrast to Baku. Absolutely. And it's ironic because it was kind of like the fortune that we got in the other FA Cups final of 3 years ago in 2017. So amazing stuff there. Joseph says the midfield were responsible for the goal. For their goal, I mean, yeah, we won. Who cares? Let's stop overanalyzing things. Saeed says, can't imagine what Arteta will do with a better squad and better depth. This team has to back them. This team has the board and the hierarchy have to back this team, and they have to back Arteta and give him the players that he wants. Matthew De Souza says, Arteta is saying I spoke to him and I believe he will stay. I've heard a few times before Wenger. Yeah, that's the thing is that he can't come out and say that and for him to leave. He just can't. Kieran Watt says, teams will complain when we get refs bias, but go on the defensive in the vice versa. Exactly. It's a case, Kieran, of just one side of it. Arsenal don't get their luck and fans will criticise saying we're moaning about the ref, and then when it comes around and we finally get some luck, there you go. Matt Gray says, no place for negativity today. Let's just enjoy this moment. If anyone is throwing any negativity at all, you need to take a long, hard look at yourself and think, am I really an Arsenal fan? Because if you are, enjoy an FA Cup final, because down the line, a lot of fans won't be able to see this. A lot of people will not have been able to see the game because of whatever situation with the COVID situation. A lot of family members will not. And if you can't appreciate a win and not be looking at this with wholehearted positivity, or not looking at it in a salty way, whether you had an agenda against Arteta or an agenda against Xhaka or whatever, if you can't look at this game in a purely positive, raw excitement of being a fan, then genuinely throw yourself away, because I can't cope. That got very serious. But yeah, I am just in such a positive mood of loving being an Arsenal fan. And I always bring this back to an interview that I did with Owen Young when he was writing for Yama, and he threw it up and he asked me the question, why should, if someone was not a football fan and wants to become a football fan, and why would you go and support the Arsenal? And I basically said that if you become an Arsenal fan, you get the entire spectrum of being a fan. You get disappointment, you get gut-wrenching defeats, you get all of that side, you get silly debates in social media. But on the other side of things, you get to see amazing football sometimes, you get to see amazing achievements, and you get to see just the pure joy and the raw emotion of being what a football fan is all about. And you don't get that, I feel, with any other club. And Arsenal will give you these unique moments of pure bliss like you've just witnessed today. I kind of wish that I was at home on my own or surrounded by other Arsenal fans, because I don't feel like I can enjoy it being away and not in a situation where I can't do a dance on the show because I'm just wired up to try and complete this show. But in a weird way, maybe it's right. There was, in a couple of weeks' time, there's going to be an amazing interview. I know I said it was going to be next week, but it's had to be pushed back because of not to do with me, but other things. When I'm going to chat to someone very, very special about a book that they wrote about a very, very special event in Arsenal's history. And I am honoured to be able to do it. And I can't wait to now do it in the context of talking about this game, because I was listening to the book, talking about how people were stuck in a certain traffic jam, trying to get to a certain game. For the biggest game of the year and arguably of Arsenal's history. And I was stuck in a traffic jam, having run a lot of errands. And even though the kickoff was 2 and a bit hours away and my journey was only an hour, you can't help but sometimes think the worst is going to happen. You're going to miss something. And obviously I made it and got back and watched the game. But just being able to imagine and relive some of those moments and be able to show that sort of empathetic feelings just gives you all those cup magic that we've been asking for a long time. And Arsenal have won 14 FA Cups, and it's utter bliss. Iron Cub says, pretty sure this also means we go straight into the group and Spurs get pushed back to qualifications in the Europa League. Possibly, not quite sure on that one. Gregory Beeler says, now everyone knows Arsenal can beat top 4 teams, and the important thing is now the players know it too. Ticklesman said, I had a car crash this morning. Don't even care. Well, I hope you're all right. And I'm glad that this sort of turned things around for you. Corey Burnside says, Albert sign de Ting. Jesse Taylor says, is it me or is Aubameyang just getting better and better? Rydog says, if Pepe plays like this more next season, look out Premier League. Peter Renner says, let's just hope KSE don't think we have won the FA Cup. No need to invest much money. You'd think it would hopefully be the opposite. Now we're still in Europe next season. That is going to be big. Iron Cub says, quick shout out to Pulisic. Takes a lot of heart to take that shot after pulling your hammy. He was screaming in pain. Absolute warrior. And fair play to him. He's a player that I like a lot, and I'm gutted to see him in a Chelsea shirt. And he's obviously going to be out for a bit now, maybe miss the start of next season, which is good in an Arsenal perspective. But yeah, I like him a lot, and commiserations to him. Avinash Singh says, sweet guy. Some people hate that song. The person I'm going to interview hates that song. Billy Ferreldy says, in our worst season, we still win the FA Cup. We are gargantuan. Mike Hernandez says, elbow cough. Unbelievable. Gregory Beeler says, now everyone knows Arsenal beat top 4. Gary Hardy says, just showed the Martinez reply on BBC and the ball was just still in his area. Is it the ball that's like the full ball inside or not? I said I'd go for 20 minutes. I've got to run now. Enjoy your evening, people. I'm so glad that I was able to share this with you. I know it's not perfect. I'll be able to do a podcast with you guys on Monday that I'm buzzing to do and just really let loose. And I'm going to enjoy my evening, and I hope you enjoy yours too. Arsenal are the 14th time FA Cup winners, and I'm just absolutely over the moon. And Mikel Arteta is a legend already in 6 months. Amazing stuff. See you soon. And as always, up the Arsenal.